In terms of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, in your opinion, are we making it? Are we seeing kind of that unified march towards achieving the goals and getting there by 2030?
Well, there's two parts to your question. The first part is we have never seen that much interest and awareness of global goals like this. And it's the first time we have a global compass for development in the planet, right? Mm-hmm. And so that is rallying people. Now, are we getting there? It's a bit more complicated questions because you get a lot of companies. We see that a lot of companies have actually done the mapping against each of the SDGs, which is material for their business. But then they get blocked because then what do we do, right? And so I think now it's like in the board or it's in the decision-making process. So we're not quite there yet. In terms of government, a lot of government have presented their voluntary national review, which they do at the high-level political forum in New York. So that is moving along. The problem is going to be the financing. And this is why I'm here today, because I want to convince the investors and the advisors that we align our capital with the SDGs if we want to get there.
Great. And in terms of maybe a success that everyone is not aware of that can be used as an example of how to get us there, how to push the SDGs closer towards getting there. I know the concern right now is on the financing of the SDGs and how to make it sustainable in terms of, beyond that short-term initial impact. But is there something that you can highlight that shows us if we can just scale that, that's what we need?
Yeah. So I just presented on the technology side. So we have the technology now with the rapid development on decentralized energy and renewable energy oftentimes, it is possible to reach out to the smallest last mile of these remote areas. And so the technology is there. The problem is, how do we finance this? And we have a lot of investment, a lot of that is receiving zero or negative returns. So there's clearly a problem in this market. And the problem is, how do we solve that problem? How do we make the bridge between the two? And that's what we're trying to do now. So bring the technology and the innovators with the business people that can develop a business model, but then with the investors, especially the impact investors have been very, very much active in this field to develop some of these models so that we then develop at scale. Because we have plenty of small examples in India, in Africa, of microgrid for household and that there's profit to be made, and then the household can afford them. But the problem is, how do you reach then the other hundreds of millions of people that still need access to energy? And this is where it gets very, very interesting, but also there's great opportunities in terms of business there. So we need to break that, crack that nut in terms of getting there.
Great. And in terms of CIFA spends a great deal amount of time trying to get the right players into the room to have the dialogue. Can you speak to, do you find value in the dialogues that take place here? And is this something we need more of, or do you think where do you put this in the context of helping advance the dialogue?
Well, I guess if I go for myself, I'm pretty busy, and yet it's the second time I come. Okay, it's in Monaco, but I do feel there's a value of not being at the UN. As soon as you get at the UN, people get into a negotiation mode. And here, it's fantastic what they managed to do. We have 5 ambassadors, and a lot of them are chair of the G77 or former chair of G7. They know the nitty-gritty of the group and what is needed, what's feasible. And we have some of the decision makers, and then the researchers and the investors. We can't do better than this. We need these type of dialogue, and now we need to find a way to bring this back to the negotiation in a packaged way. But I also would like CIFA to help us increase the financial literacy in terms of sustainable finance investment, because advisors, we see that they're not aware, and therefore they're not likely to propose those to their clients.